And welcome back to the Good People Content YouTube channel. This is a very special edition of Song of the Week, coming all the way from Vallejo, California. My name is Jordan, I'm your co-host, and to my right is my co-host, David. David, how you doing?
How could I be bad, Jordan? Look at where we are right now. We are with the one and only, one of the best to be doing it right now, LaRussell. It is incredible to be here with you in Vallejo, California.
Thank you for coming through.
Incredible to be here. How you feeling today, man? Everything good?
I'm well. I'm lovely, man. I'm excited.
Beautiful, beautiful.
We love it.
But before we chop it up, because we got a lot to chop it up with you about, because it's an honor to be here, I want to just give our viewers a little bit of context for how this happened, how we're sitting with you right now today. Jordan, why don't you break it down? Because all I did was say I liked LaRussell and that he was cool and I liked what he was doing. He's an entrepreneurial guy. And then Jordan, you chopped up a clip, right?
Yeah, so as you know, we do Song of the Week. Every week we make picks on what songs that we want to talk about. And we were just having a conversation about LaRussell. Yeah. And I threw a clip up on Twitter and Instagram one day, and crazy, I was in the job interviewing for a second job, trying to help pay for everything that we're doing. We have a very small following, 80 subscribers on YouTube, 160 on Instagram. I think at the time we had 48 videos up on YouTube, and I get a DM from the one and only, my man LaRussell.
Yeah.
And we had an emergency meeting that night.
Yeah.
That's
we were
hella
ready.
funny, right?
Circle the wagons,
we were
and
like, we need to get back to him. We need to make this happen. So we appreciate you, man. You invited us out here to come to the concert last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say, and do the podcast with us, man. So it's been awesome to experience all this and get to see the show and get to see your community and everything, man. We really appreciate it.
What was that moment or that flow after I messaged to get it back to the team? Like, what did that look like and sound like and feel like?
There was a lot of swear words. Happy swear words. I'm like, holy shit, like this is really happening. And we have a third partner who's on Good People, Bill, who couldn't be here today. But we really got on the phone, I want to say, like within the hour, maybe,
that night,
of you DMing us, because we respect the hell out of what you do and how you get after it, and we'll get into it, but the ethos of how you kind of approach making music. And so we recognize this was an amazing opportunity, and we kind of all decided right then and there, whatever this is going to look like, whether it's coming out to Vallejo, whether it's doing it on Zoom, whatever it was going to be, we're going to make the most of it. And so here we are.
I love it.
Incredible stuff. And that's a good transition, I think, because you were gracious enough to invite us to the Backyard Boogie, just down the street here in Vallejo.
Yeah.
And I think for both of us, that's a show. I've never really experienced a show like that before. You know, we walked out of it saying, this is what hip hop should feel like all the time. This is what a community oriented thing feels like. There were little kids, there were grandmas,
right?
There was us acting the fool, doing our thing. So I know you've been doing this for 3+ years now, right?
Yeah.
Putting these on. Give us a little background on kind of how it came to be, why it means so much to you.
Man, it's my baby. It's my money tree. It's funny because years ago, I kept having I be getting like little downloads from the universe. It's like random words or sentences or like thoughts. And I kept having a thought of like, you need to grow a money tree. And, it's funny because during that time, I got into like bonsai plants, like money tree plants. And I had two at my crib that I'll take care of, right? And it was like, the thought just kept coming, you need to grow a money tree. And I'm just like, that's just something in my head, right? And I ended up doing a show in Oakland that I was renting out the venue. It was one of my early Proud to Pay shows where I'm like, I'm going to just let people come pay whatever. And the owner had never done that before, experienced that. So naturally, he was just kind of negative about the whole ordeal. Sure. And he called me, I think the morning of or the day before, I think the morning of the show, and was like, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is going to work. Just a lot of negativity. And I remember it like consuming me and kind of making me feel like low about what I was doing. Like it almost made me a bit doubtful on what I was doing. And I didn't like that I gave anyone the power to do that. And that same day I was like, I'm finna build my own venue and I'm gonna just use what I have. And we start flipping the backyard that same day. And as it came to fruition, I realized like, oh, that's my money tree. Yeah. Like now I could get on line right now and say, hey, I'm finna do a show in the backyard. I'm only letting 100 people in. Tickets on sale now. I'm doing it at 8 p.m. tonight. It'll sell out.
Yeah, 100%.
And I could be able to make money to help me do what I need to do.
Yes.
The thing that I love the most about it, man, is like it's all about your community, right? Like it feels like everyone that wanted to be a part of that show yesterday got to be a part of it, right? Like all the little kids got to be a part of it. Me and Dave were kind of in the back, like, we're gonna stay back here. No one's here to see us. Like, we're not gonna go up there and make a fool of ourselves. But anybody that wanted to participate and touch you, right? Like the one thing we also noted is you walk around before the show starts and you say hello to everybody, right? You shake everybody's hands. You make everybody feel welcome. And we had little kids coming up to us, talking to us. Everybody felt loved. Everybody felt welcome. And it was just a great vibe, man. It was cool to see how your community embraces you and how you're really, in a lot of their eyes, the guy in the community to look to. So that was really cool.
Man, it's beautiful for me to witness because the Backyard has been so many iterations. Like the first shows was mostly family and friends and people who've been here. And now these are like, I'm seeing new people every show. Like we have our ones that's like, these are our guys, but it's new people who, some of them don't even know the music. They just love LaRussell. They just like, I heard about this and I want to be there. They don't necessarily, because I don't do like set lists or like just my popular. I do whatever I want. There's no set. So you don't know what you're gonna hear. You don't know what you're gonna experience, but they just come for that. And us building out the stage and the center, this is having it in the center versus where we used to have it up front, it enables everyone to kind of feel like they're part of the show. Yes. And that it added such a different element with all the kids and everything. Like everyone has the access to be, in that light now.
Everyone was a part of it. It was really cool.
It was.
Really
and the band was great. We had a great time. So thank you for that. And like you said, I think one of the funny, interesting things to me is you started the show by saying, what do you guys want to hear? What song do you want? And then people are shouting it out, and you're like, boom, here we go. Now
if the crowd picked the songs, and they can never be mad at how the show goes. It's like you did it.
That's right. That's right. Sure. Well, that's a great segue because we heard a lot of great songs yesterday. You played some hits. You played some stuff where you asked for your phone, right? And you're like, hey, I've been writing today. I want to try some stuff out with you guys because you're in this comfortable environment. That was so fun. But I think it's a good transition into our Song of the Week segment, and we're here with LaRussell. We got to do it a little bit different because
we got some LaRussell deep cuts.
We got some deep cuts, and we got some stuff. Leading up to this. Another thing that happened when we circled the wagons after we connected with you was we did a good deep dive on LaRussell's discography into the catalog. Woo! And let me tell you something, man.
That's
you got
deep water.
A deep catalog.
That's deep water.
We had a couple weeks, and I don't know if we finished it.
That's deep water.
Deep water.
That's deep water.
Music. You dropped an album yesterday. You announced on stage like,
that's
I just dropped another one.
Yes.
So
Ethical was at the crib yesterday.
They were.
It was beautiful, and I think, like you said at the show yesterday, but what I found in listening through the whole, or as much of the discography as we could, because we got a lot of music. I think there's an amazing depth. That's the right word for it. Because I think a lot of people probably, when they hear you for the first time, they're hearing the dance shit, or they're hearing some Bay Area stuff that's getting people moving, getting their body going. There's so much more there. Yeah. You really are a master kind of at like getting that first thing across so people are in with you. And then you kind of dive into the stuff that's really, really interesting. So with that, I'm gonna start on my song of the week.
Yeah, you got it.
Because so much of your music, so much of what you're about is Vallejo, right? It really is, and you live that every single day. So my song of the week that I'm picking from LaRussell's catalog is "Grinding," with another Vallejo legend.
Water.
Right.
Water. The absolute, the man. E40.
You seen his Tiny Desk drop today?
I did drop today. I was going to mention it.
Yeah.
Killing it.
We're going to get into that.
I had to call him. I was like,
yep.
Yes.
Yep. And it's good. It's really, really good. They put on a great show. And he's a special guy. And you two are Vallejo legends, both in your own right. So I'm curious, Grinding's one of your bigger songs, not really a deep cut, but to me, it felt like Vallejo, right? It had that kind of grime in a good way to it. But then what you guys are talking about, the lingo, the slang that you're using. Yeah. What was that like? Getting to work with 40, of course, which you've done a couple times, but on that song, and kind of what that song maybe means to you, as from the perspective of Vallejo.
I don't even remember specifically making Grinding just because I made that whole Motion album. I made probably in 5-6 hours, like the whole project.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was just kind of cranking out a bunch and at the end grinding. You never know which one is gonna be the one. It's crazy because Welp is on there, and Welp is one of the big ones. Yeah, Welp sure. I wasn't even gonna put out because I was like, I don't know.
It's crazy
and it
how
ended
it
up
works
going,
like that.
but I had made that bunch, and Water is always my first choice whenever I make something that make me feel like, you know, if I'm like, I need a feature, I send 40 a bunch of different joints of like, hey, if you feeling it, you know,
Let it rip,
that was one of the ones that he came back on and it created that moment.
Yeah. That's what's up. Amazing.
But before I give you my song of the week, I'm just curious, when did you start getting into this idea of like, I've heard you say a couple times in different interviews, you'll do a whole album in a day, right? Like you just said, I'll do an album in 5-6 hours. When did you start doing that, and like what inspired you to do it that way?
I started doing it once I found out I could.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't like an intention. Like I never was like actively trying to do it.
Right.
It just started happening. I had I think the first album I did in a day was It'll All Make Sense When It's Done.
Okay.
I think it was like my 7th or 8th album. Yeah. But I was up just like one night going through beats from like 6 p.m. to probably midnight, 1 a.m. And I made all the songs and I was just like, I want to put this out. So that happened. And then how much does a piece of mind cost happen the same way? I just start catching a flow. Like I go to the studio and I just keep making joints. And I like enough joints to make a project where it was like, let's share this. I like the cohesiveness of things being done in a certain sitting because the energy and the feeling, you know, like I got albums where some song didn't come till later, but I love when it's like, no, I was in this state of life, in this state of mind, and it all came together.
Sure.
So I've been doing it since like 2021, and it just never, you know, some albums just happen like that for me.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny, you know, I was an actor, I come from theater. That's very like a theater mindset, right? Where it's like, we're in this creative pocket right now.
You can't leave it.
No, we got to do this till it's done. You know, like we're going to be here until we really get it right. And then we can close the chapter and move on. And the last thing before we kick it to your song, because now we're going here, you know, we're about the same age, early 30s ish. Seeing the like volume of work that you put out and the ability to just continue to just churn it out. Even yesterday, you're scrolling through your phone. You're like, I write so much. I got to find this new verse.
Yeah.
To me, that makes me think of like mixtape Wayne era, right? Or like even like Gucci Mane maybe, right? When he was starting out, where it's like, I'm going to flood this, right? I'm going to make sure you know I'm out here.
Yes.
How much of those guys influence what you do? Do you take anything from that kind of mindset?
Completely. Mixtape Weezy. That's
there you go.
That's what it is. It's like, and I'm not doing it to gather attention. It's just I make a lot of I enjoy to make music. That's my favorite thing to do.
Right.
And I can't control my output. When I get in the studio, however many I make, it's just what I make, you know. And once I'm done, I'm like, I want to share it. I don't want to just sit on it, because if I don't release it, I can't really get better.
Right.
You know, imagine you finna shoot a ball and you never let the ball go. You can't get better. You can't adjust. You can't learn. You feel me? So it's like I have to make it or miss it to know, hey, I need to move to the left, move to the right. Yeah. And that's what's kind of helped me like increase my craft. You know, like the fact that some people think, there's people who think I can't rap. They think I just make like hyphy music and it's like light rap, but they don't understand like I can make that music so good and so simple where you can ingest it, because I can rap better than almost anyone you know if you actually listen to my
most
rap.
People don't know the catalog, right? They haven't really taken the deep dive.
They can't even. They've only found me through what's went viral, through what makes people feel good and what makes people happy. So they don't even understand the complexity of like, oh no, this nigga is great. Like, I start going viral off freestyles. Right. You feel me? Right. I'm just now getting into a wave where my songs are going viral, in my videos is going viral, but it was freestyles, you know? Yeah. And it's crazy how the narrative changed, because when you freestyling, it's like, oh, he can't make songs. Then you start making songs and it's like, oh, he can't rap.
Right. There's always something. There's always a little bit of hate, for sure. There's always
people are
a little
find
bit
of hate. Exactly. In there
they
somewhere.
Will always.
Yes. No, well, that's awesome. That's great. Well, Jordan, kick it. Let's hear your song.
So when I was trying to find my song of the week, Dave and I talk all the time, right? And so I'm deep diving through your catalog, and I'm like, Dave, I like this album, I like that album, but every time I get to Velour, I got to listen to that like 2 or 3 times. There's something about that album.
That's a special project.
Yeah. So
it's
then
left field.
So then I locked in on that. Then I bounced around 3 or 4 different tracks on that one, trying to like, man, which one do I pick? But for me, it was, man, My Baby Love Me Deep.
Ooh.
That's my cut right there. I've been bumping that one for the last week on repeat.
I love it.
I want to hear. Tell me about that album. Tell me what type of place you had to go for that album, because that one's so different. Yeah. It's a totally different album than all the other stuff you do. You're singing a lot more on that one. Like I want to know what those studio sessions were like.
Velour's another album that was made in a day, 2 days.
Wow.
Like one night, it's crazy. Velour only got made because I was like feeling a way about making so many slaps and some of the other shit that I was like, man, I want to just make something like fresh and different. Like I started off like really enjoying writing R&B songs for my homies and Afro beats records. Like I was writing, I write records. And I was like, man, I just want to get back to the days when I was on YouTube, just like, you know, writing. Yeah. And the first beat I found, I had looked up Rex Orange County type beat.
Yes.
Okay. And the first beat that I found was Caught Up in My Head. And Caught Up in My Head was that's the first song that I did that I didn't like write.
Okay.
Like it just came to me. I was in my computer chair, and this is like at 1 a.m., right? Midnight, 1 a.m. Yeah. Windows open, and I just felt it. I'm rolling around in the chair, and I called my engineer, and I'm like, bro, you got to pull up. He comes to the house. He can hear from outside. He runs upstairs. He's like, you gotta lay this now.
Right.
And it's the first song I laid. I didn't like write nothing. It just came through me and to me.
And you can feel it. You can feel it when you listen to the song. You can feel the emotion on there.
And it felt so good that I was just like, bro, I need an album just full of like these. Yeah. And I ended up getting with Troy Taylor. I had him send in some beat. He produced a lot of like Trey songs and a lot of R&B records that we know. Right. And he did Till the Sun Goes Down and Down That Road and When I Come Home with Twister. All that. Like I made When I Come Home on live stream. I did Caught Up in My Head on live stream, Down That Road. Like there's a live stream of me laying those in my living room. You feel me? So it was just one of them spirits, and I wanted to create in that way.
I was between Deep and Rush Bliss. You have my favorite bar of yours.
The loss of passion. Man. The car is passion.
When you said Coochie and Patron, the scent of a Rolling Stone, I texted him like, yo, he's out of control with that.
Hides on the Patron?
I'm like, he's out of control. Like that.
We'll put the text up on camera because he literally could text me that.
Man.
Bro, and Deep is one of my favorite records because I wrote Deep as if I was like David Ruffin.
Ooh,
like if you listen to it and you hear it and you picture David Ruffin's voice, it fits perfectly as a David Ruffin song.
Yep. All right, that's all I wanted to hear right there. I was so curious about that song and where you went to go to get that.
David Ruffin.
That's
what's up.
That was the inspo.
It was in you. That's what was in you right there.
Yes.
And you know what? And hearing that too, as like aspiring musicians, I rap. You know, Billy's a rapper. Hearing you say, "Yeah, I hopped on YouTube and I searched a Rex type beat." I think that's how everybody is trying to get inspired nowadays, right? It's like it's all there for you. You just got to go find.
Bro, that's how it started for me, you know. And I was always had the freedom, and I end up like as you grow, you get in-house producers, and I have so many talented in-house producers. But the thing with in-house is like they have a sound and a style. So it's like once you make so many, you got to like move around to get new vibes and new styles. So going back to YouTube, like my last album, Sobriety, that was all YouTube beats. I found a producer named Noisy and I tapped in and I was like, I love your shit. I'm going to do an album with yours. I'm going to give you your split and you feel me? And to me, it also empowers the creative community because he probably never fucking thought he would make an album with a LaRussell.
Just like us sitting right here.
We never thought we'd be sitting here with you. So yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I love it because YouTube is just like an archive of sounds and vibes that you can find. And I encourage people to still use those creative resources. Like it's too easy for us now to create for us to not use it or to frown upon it as if it's like cheaper. Like the quality on YouTube is not no different or no lower. Like you can find those guys who are those guys.
And we're always taught in our communities to use the resources that you have in front of you, right? And YouTube is a free resource. Like why not use it to your advantage?
Man, and like I say, now the tide lifts the boats. Like I've seen producers I've used from there and they start to elevate and start to get their own wave and they just needed someone to recognize the greatness that they had. Like Velour is one of my favorite albums that I've made. You know, like it's the left field. There's a few in there that's more
Peanut Butter
singing.
Insides, man,
great song.
Every time we do Peanut Butter Insides live, like the energy. Why is one that was the last record I did on the album. Like that. It's one of them.
Oh, that's incredible, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a lot of fun. Well, on that, so we'll transition off that because we're talking about YouTube. We're talking about aspiring artists. And I think one of the coolest things you do is you have a submission form, right? You're like, let LaRussell come do a verse on your song. And it's a Google form. It's something everybody can understand. You upload a file, leave a space for your verse. Is that same energy kind of coming from like, how can I help lift somebody up with what I'm doing and kind of raise all boats? Like you're saying?
It allows me to like support the artistic community while sharpening my sword.
Right.
Because sometimes I don't like have the desire to make music for myself. I'm just like, I don't mind it, but I don't have like it's not coming to me. But I'm like, I'll get a track from somebody or I hear a beat. And now it's funny, I got into a point where like some artists will send me tracks and I don't like it.
Right.
So I tell them like, hey, send me beats and I'll start the song and you could just add your piece.
Sure.
And I've been able to do even more. I've done hundreds now.
Wow.
Like there's so many people that have a LaRussell verse. Like you guys had this interview that like that shit don't exist. You'll never get a Cole verse, a Kendrick verse. You feel me? Like they have it while I'm having my moment. I'm peaking. I'm still going up, and I still keep accepting them. Like the ones that come and it's like I feel good. I like this. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And like we said earlier, man, that's what makes you so authentically you, right? That's why when we're, this is still very new for us. We've only been posting videos for 3 or 4 months. Like this is a very new thing, and for us to get somebody like you who supports, indie artists and things like that and is encouraging people to be creative and be themselves and step out on some faith, right? It's authentic to yourself. It's really cool.
Fire.
How much is that? Because I'm from LA. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, which has its own deep hip hop history and importance to the whole game. It's in of itself, as does the Bay, right? And I think when I think of the Bay, and I'm thinking of Water, I'm thinking of Jacka, I'm thinking of Mac Dre, these legends, Too Short. There's an independent spirit, right? I think that kind of permeates throughout all those things.
Yeah.
This energy of like you say, literally, Billboard can't count my spins. I'm out the trunk, right? You guys are out the trunk. How important is that to you to be known as somebody that's not just doing it, but doing it like as an independent artist from the Bay, from Vallejo?
Man, I'm just grateful to carry the torch,
right.
In a way that is elevating the culture and elevating the art. Like I feel like every time we get someone new in that sets a new bar, it encourages people to go higher.
Yeah.
I look online now and I see my blueprint everywhere. I see things that I see the art, the way I do things everywhere. Yeah. And that's an elevation of culture and the art. I see people selling their music directly again, using the same platform, doing their tickets offered, doing Proud to Pay. Like I see the elevation of the culture and the art through what I've done. So for me, I'm grateful for it. Like that's the goal.
Yeah. We're grateful too, man. It's incredible because for independent creators, I think that's right. It's a blueprint. It's a pathway, right? That it's like, it's working for me. It can work for you. Let's do this together. That collaborative spirit.
Exactly.
Incredible. Well, on that,
let's do it,
let's do it. So Bill, our guy, not here today in the flesh, but he does make some music. You're the preeminent independent hip hop artist out right now.
Yeah.
We're sitting here with you. So we want to play you like a minute of some of his music, which is an independent guy looking to find his voice, figure it out, and just get your thoughts. And I think whether you like it or not, but also, when you get a submission from somebody, right, who's maybe not a big name yet, what are you looking for? What are you listening to? For anybody who's watching out there who might be submitting to your forum, maybe kicking them a little game about kind of what you're looking for in this type of thing.
Yeah. Man, I'm looking for a few things. One, like production quality, like level of. I'm big on like beat picking.
Yeah.
Like if you could pick a great beat, I know you have like an artistic mind. Some people just they can't hear a great beat if you put it right on here.
Right. Put it right in front of them. Yeah.
So I'm always looking for like, okay, what kind of beat was chosen? But yeah, I'm looking at the production because that's the thing that moves me first. Like if the beat ain't hidden or feel good, I'm there's nothing I can really do. Right. After that, I'm just looking for like, do the raps make me feel something? Okay. Do they make me smile? Do they make me like, damn? Yeah. Do they make me like, do they evoke any kind of emotion in me to where I'm like, yeah, I want to be a part of this?
Yeah.
And yeah, that generally does it for me. Third is usually like just the approach, like the offer. Like what are they offering? What do the text say with the offer? Some people come in super high on the offer and I'll pass it up because the music isn't adequate for the offer. It's like you're trying to buy your way in, and I can't support that either. It just don't work for me. Like there's some features I could have made a lot of money, but I just couldn't do it. It was like, yeah, you feel me? Because I don't want anyone buying their way in either. Like I try to make people earn it, and some I'll be leisurable because like I could see the potential. Yeah. So I'll take less than I'm worth, or I'll do something that's like I wouldn't generally do this, but I like this.
Right. Push the ball forward a little bit, push the culture forward.
Exactly, you feel me? Yeah. So those three things is usually what comes into play.
Yeah, I love that.
Before we play the music, did anyone do that for you? Did anybody help you out in a way where maybe you weren't fully ready, but they kind of saw a little bit of potential in you and decided to push you along a little bit, help you out? Or did you just get it on your own the whole time?
Yeah.
It could be that.
Yeah, niggas ain't really start helping me until it was clear what I was going to be.
And that's sometimes that's how it goes.
Like, even the people who came in early for me, it was very, very clear what I was finna be and who I was. Like I used to film live performances, and like a lot of artists from the Bay would go viral from my platform. Yeah. And I was behind the camera propelling a bunch of artists who were bigger than me at the time, and I just slowly inclined, but even they seen then like this nigga gonna be something, you know? Yeah. So for me, I didn't really get a favor, you know, like once it was like 40 always gave me verses early and shit, but even it was I had to earn it first. It was like, I see you. You feel me?
Did you get discouraged or frustrated or even spiteful when you felt like, man, I'm putting in the work, people aren't messing with me? Or were you just so resilient, you just kept on going?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Like, I was trying to do some things early on with like the live platform, and I couldn't get people to come on. Like some people just and I started building locally. I went horizontally instead of vertically. Yeah. But some people wasn't fucking with it. But I didn't do enough yet to win that, and I understood that. Like once I got to the point where I realized like, oh, I just haven't done enough work for them to care or for them to notice or for it to be beneficial to them. Right. You can't be mad at that. You feel me? Like some things ain't beneficial for a nigga who up here to come down here and ball with you. Like they gotta want that for themselves, and a lot of people don't. Yeah. And that's why I give so much to the creative economy, no matter like what height it's at, because it's like if I like the people there, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. All right, that's what's up.
And I'll just say last thing before we play the music, because you just hit it on something that I'm passionate about, which is whatever it is, whether it's music, acting, painting, art is there to make you feel things, and whether it's angry, bad, good, whatever it is, if you don't, every piece of music I listen to yours and the whole discography that I listen to, there's feeling in it, there's emotion behind it, and whether it's your cup of tea or not, I think that's so important. So that makes a lot of sense why a great artist is looking for that, something to move them, that's gonna feel it.
And you see it in the show.
Right.
Absolutely.
I could do a show. Absolutely. Yes. You'll see me do a show and I'll go from a record that's we up here with it to we here and everybody riding that way because you can't avoid feeling.
Right.
Like I don't give a fuck who you are. When something just hit that, it's gonna hit you. It don't matter. You feel me? And that's what be missing. Like if you go to a live show and you don't feel nothing, it's that disconnect. You'll feel it in the crowd.
Absolutely. And it's why, like we said earlier, your crowd is so diverse, right? Like the people just standing in our section, old, young, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. Like everybody, your show is for everybody, and it's the only show I've ever been to that's like that.
Same.
You know what I mean?
No, it was incredible, unique. And if more people got into it that way, I think the culture would be better off for it, right? That's what it's all about. But
for certain.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah,
we're going to play a minute of this song.
Now, Bill, he told us before we came on here that he was going to be very honest.
That's right.
So
that's all we can ask for.
I'm going to be as honest as I can be. Without being malicious.
Of course.
That's always appreciated.
And Bill will appreciate that.
It's always appreciated. But I'll just let it play. We can listen for a minute or two. You got the speaker right there.
Yeah.
I'm in pursuit again. Timing is everything. Swear to God I get bored to death hearing y'all talk about moving different. I move deliberate, word is law, my talks retain. Cost y'all $1.98, cause your 2 cents don't mean a thing. Care less about disproving niggas. I'll maneuver niggas, do this cause I choose position. Leave sight and then move with vision. Mind stone with a low tone, spitting diamonds out of rhinestone. Gold mode to the corpse cold, where the cash goes, my new religion. Look to me for answers to myself, I gotta ask. Just to live this shit I want, will I kill off who I am? Goddamn, if you leave, then you can't come back the same. Make a choice, make your peace and make a way, or nobody will. Cause closed mouths don't get fed, done heard that before. Cause closed mouths don't get fed, that hunger don't slow. See, closed mouths don't get fed, that most stay on go. I know, ain't no miracles, I see it happen. Cycling in a state of mind that's always stuck on 10 and heightening. I'm hallucinating like
Keep going.
Yeah, here we go.
when you mix that.
What do you think so far, Dylan?
Yeah.
Your world is falling in. How the pressure feel when I'm moving.
I hear you,
through
Bill.
shit.
Yeah, Bill.
But I keep it cool beneath the surface, pieces move. Do I pick and choose to stay put on my new pursuits? Easy for the loot. I look death in the eye and I blink twice. I'm paralyzed at the fork in the road, but that shit might change my life. Look to me for answers. To myself, I gotta ask.
Hey.
To live this shit I want.
Bill, we're out here, baby.
Yeah.
Come on.
Vallejo, California.
If you leave, then you can't come back the same. Make a choice, make it peace, and make a way, or nobody will. Cause closed mouths don't
That
get
shit
fed.
hard.
Cause closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah.
See, closed mouths don't get fed, that most stay on go. I know, ain't no miracles, I see it how it showed.
All right, Bill. You
If
got
that
it?
came through the feature link, I would do it.
Yes.
So that's Bill. He does Song of the Week with us, but like we said, he couldn't be here today. So
He
we wanted
kind
to
of
show
got a
him some
Kid
love.
Cudi feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it kind of reminded me of like Chip the Ripper.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Please,
That-
please,
I
what
like
you know,
that.
what you know about Chip
I
the
like
Rip?
that.
Please,
I like
let's
that.
get that. Cool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and Bill, that's gonna mean a lot to him. So thank
Yeah,
you for
for sure,
fucking with
for
that.
sure.
But
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I be when people play me music or be like, "Can I rap to you?" In my mind, I'd be like, "Please."
sure.
But that was pleasant. That was pleasant.
Good deal.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Thanks for
yeah,
that,
yeah.
man. We
Listen, that's
appreciate that.
fantastic. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. And yeah, I think, Bill, send that submission.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir.
We'll see what's going on. But in general, Bill aside, kind of like you mentioned what you look for in the music, you're such a personable, likable person just in general. You're so nice. How much of like people's personality kind of factors into who you choose to work with, who you want to kind of build with? Is that a factor for it, or do you kind of separate that business from what you're doing, on your own?
On the feature side, like through submissions,
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily matter because
Right.
I don't know these niggas.
Sure,
like
sure,
I can't.
sure.
There's
Yeah,
nowhere. Like
It's
I
a
can't,
file, right?
I
Yeah.
can't
You're
not
know
gonna take
what
the time
kind
to
of-
get to know him. Yeah,
right,
for sure,
like,
for sure.
It don't work that way. But who I work with in person, who I get in the studio with, the
Yeah.
producers, the art, the ones I'm like, hey, come to the crib, come hop on this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it factors completely.
Yeah.
Like there's some people I work with once and never again, and there's some people that we go on hikes. And
Right.
It's like, hey,
Right.
come
Chop it
forward,
up.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
So that factors completely to me. Like sometimes you could not make great music, but I like who you are.
Yeah.
And I can mold and help you make great music, but I can't help you be a great person if you don't have that in you.
Right. That
And
makes a lot of
from
sense.
what I can tell, and correct me if I'm wrong, but being at the show yesterday, it seems like everyone that's involved with the show is family, right? Or at least, close to being
Yeah,
family,
it feels
right?
so, right?
It feels that way.
It felt
That's
that
for
way.
sure.
And
Yes.
did I read that correctly? Is everybody that's involved kind of people that you grew up with?
No.
Okay.
Amazing. That just looks, it
you
feels
tricked
that
me.
way.
That's
great.
like that's what's curated from being around us.
Yeah.
Like once you're kind of in my circle and I like you gonna feel like you family, and that's what it becomes. Like you become a part of a community that feels bigger than like the program or the music. It's like, bro, I'm here because I love this and I want to be here and this matters to me.
Yeah.
That's what it becomes. A lot of these people are new. Some I just met this year, some just last year, but it's like, that's what's special about it. They just feel that connection.
For sure. Yeah, special is the right word
It
to
is.
describe it.
It's definitely special.
I almost expected to see like your auntie cooking in the back or something right there. Like it really
Pops,
felt that way.
when the backyard shows first started, Pops used to cook.
Yeah,
Pops
I believe
used to
it.
cook all
I
the
believe it.
food, and
They
it's
had
really,
the bouncy house for the kids in the front,
God.
man. The vibes were crazy.
No,
The
it
vibes were
was.
crazy.
we had Foursquare in the street.
Yeah.
We get
That's
it
what's
right.
up, man.
Yeah, dude,
That's
right.
what's up.
That's right. Well, all right. So thank you again for listening to that. That was awesome. And I think just to kind of to land the plane here, just again as a California local native lover of hip hop, I got to know your top 5 Bay Area of all time? You know, maybe not best, but maybe people to you that spoke the most to you, inspired you the most as you were kind of getting
top
going.
5.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be, and it doesn't have to be a ranking in order or anything like that.
Tupac, Dre, 40.
That's a good start.
Fab.
Oof.
Short.
Yes.
It's a good list. Can't miss with any of them.
Strong 5 right there.
Can't miss with any of them.
And so we have so many, but in terms of like impact that affected my journey.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
Yeah. Amazing list. I love that.
And then one other question that we wanted to ask you, man, is there a question that you wished you were asked more when you do these interviews, right? Is there something that you don't ever get to speak on that you'd like to speak on about your journey or about your music or anything? Not
necessarily, man. I done hundreds
you do interviews all the time.
That's Flash North?
Yeah. He's chilling. That's all good. He's comfortable. We at the Airbnb. He's chilling.
You know, I set a goal. I think it was like 2021. We were building out like a content schedule on how we would like attack this and how we would show up in the world. And I told T, I was like, man, I'm gonna go do 7 interview platforms. So I got a different clip I could post every single day. And from there, it just like I've done hundreds.
Yeah.
Like there's thousands of interview clips of me just speaking. So I've been asked, you know,
every
day. For sure.
That's awesome. And actually, that leads me to one more question, because that's important, I think, for anybody who's on our channel, following us, looking to break out, looking to do their thing. I think oftentimes when I was an actor, you know, you kind of get this split, right? Where it's like, this is my art, and then this is my business side of my art. And this is how I'm going to promote myself. This is how I'm going to sell what I'm bringing to the table. You seem to have found kind of like the perfect blend of those things, where you promoting yourself is really authentic to your art. Did that come naturally, or do you know, how did you kind of navigate? I know you said you had a plan and attack, but did it feel organic in how you wanted to approach it from the get-go?
Yeah. Yes and no. Yes, for the most part.
Right.
Like, I started off making a bunch of different kinds of content to see like what kind of works and feel good. And eventually I got it really narrowed to like what feels best to me and most authentic, how I want to show up and and a lot of my content, you know, is just me being me. Right. And that's what worked. That's what went viral. You know, one of my first viral clips is me in the back of my dad's truck rapping Baggage Claim. I was like me with the homies, like we gonna get it off, and then me going, the next Baggage Claim went viral again from me performing it live and doing like a hopscotch dance. It's just, you feel me? So I found out early what worked for me, and it was live performance content. I was like, I don't want to do all the other shit, so I'm gonna just rap. I know I could really rap. I know I could perform, so I'm gonna just rap, and I'll post that, and hopefully that go and it start going. And that's always been my anchor. Like, you know, you're always going to be able to go on my page and see me rapping somewhere. You know, there's some artists where you go and you're like, where, what
Fashion,
do you do?
all this other stuff, right?
You know, but I focalize around like what I do. And then I slowly started integrating other things, the interviews, the photos, the visualizers. But at the base of it, it's going to be rap.
Yes. Yeah. You leaned into what is true to you and what you're best at. That's a hell of a lesson right there, man. That's awesome.
And using what's real to you. Like, I went viral from rehearsing. Right. I was in my garage just rehearsing, and clips start going. People were like, oh, this kid is fucking hard. We start live streaming rehearsals. So it's like, I was just practicing. I was doing like all these shows I do now is a product of all the practice I was doing and going viral for.
Yep.
I literally started getting booked because people would see me doing that shit.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's a message to everybody, right? Just keep doing what's working best for you and putting it out there and seeing what people mess with. So for sure. That's awesome, man.
This has been an unbelievable experience, my dude. Thank you so much for taking the time.
We couldn't appreciate
putting us
you more,
on, man.
man.
We really appreciate it big time. And man, this is good people content.
That's right.
I'm David. That's LaRussell.
That's right. And I'm Jordan. We appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Until next time, from Vallejo, California, we out of here.
We out.
Peace.
Yes,
sir.
At 178 followers.
Yes.
I'm here
now.
early.
That's right.
I'm an early finder.
This guy's right here.
The man right here.
Amazing. Thanks again, bro.
Appreciate you, dog. That was dope, man.